Every time Bambi says anything about her past, Juilliard, I went through first semester. It's too competitive. Like, wait, put a pin in that. We are going back to that.
Finds a snake in the cupboard, like, oh, hey there, little guy. You want to find a new home? How about the ditch in the parking lot? I saw some mice in there.
Episode 445 of the TV Dudes, recorded July 26, 2023. Justified, City Primeval. This week, we're talking about some shows we weren't sure we'd ever see again, with Justified City Primeval and Futurama on Hulu, and Minx on Starz. Plus, we've got triple desserts with My Adventures of Superman, The Afterparty, and Secret Invasion. But before we get to all that, I'm Randy.
I'm Les.
And I'm Nick. And I'm back, baby!
And we're the TV Dudes. Yeah, I hadn't. We don't do themes anymore. We just name the shows. But as I look at them, oh right, this is a week of Justified has been I don't know how many years off the air.
Feels like a minute.
It's been a while, and then 2015, so 8 years off for Justified. I have no idea how long Futurama's been around. We're probably close to that.
Futurama was another 10-year cancellation from the last time, I think, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. And Minx was Zaslaved and just barely rescued by Starz. So,
I honestly I feel a little bit better. I thought I was just having a complete brain fart earlier. I went to watch Minx and I went directly to Max.
Of course you did, because that's where it was. Yeah.
No, Minx is a Cinemax show.
Yeah.
And oh wait, there's no such thing as Cinemax. Most of what was on HBO Cinemax is now gone.
Now there's only Max is all that remains.
Yes. Like Starz is over here hiding orphans in their house.
Yeah. Well, that's a fun thing. We'll talk about when we get to Minx the whole.
I'm sure Joyce would actually like being compared to the Anne Frank of shows, being hidden in the attic. Shh, the Zaslavs will hear you.
Oh, God. I don't mind Zaslav being compared to that. That guy's the worst. Let's start off with our appetizers, our TV diaries.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
I was gonna tell you guys, Les, I know you went through this a little while back. Just on kind of a whim, I started the final season of The Good Fight. Which I'm up through episode 7, so I've got 3 more episodes left. But I watched the episode 1 a while back, and I was missing Delroy Lindo, and
it's so pandemic shot. Like you can feel the constraints of coming back to film, which good for them for getting that season out. But you can it will forever be all those shows of that year will be a time capsule.
Yeah, it felt weird, and I didn't love Andre Braugher's Richard at first, and so I was like, well, I don't know and I was also just watching Evil becoming super weird, and I was just maybe the Kings have lost it for me. And then you watched it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go back to this at some point. And so today it was kind of on a whim, and I burned through 6 episodes, and yeah, it's a really good, really weird season.
It's so fun, but they are doubly kingy. It is so extra kingy now.
Oh yeah, there's this whole thing of the world. The evil is literally about demons and devils, and this feels more apocalyptic. Sometimes feels like the apocalypse is happening outside the law firm, and just nobody's talking, nobody's seeing it.
There's this weird Beckett vibe of are you guys in a no space now? The riot is always going on and has always been and will always it has ever been the riot.
The background noises, there's always sirens and crowd noise as a background, and whenever they're in the offices, it's.
And this is before you even get it. If you thought Christine Baranski's Housewives Hillary hacker army was crazy, or the off-brand court, the Felicia Rashad's all black militant group is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
With their fake fucking have you gotten that far? They have a fake jail.
I think I've gotten to the fake jail. Yes.
It's just nuts.
But also, I do think one of the things that was kind of missing early on, Jay got sidelined by COVID. He was hallucinating the whole last season, and so to see him prominent again and working Marissa, those two together is like, you give me that and I'm good with it.
I can't remember how long they trail his ongoing hallucinations.
It's after this season. It's over. Like he's back to being Jay.
Yeah, thankfully.
Because previous
for a
season,
while, man,
really
he's talking to Jesus
him.
and Gandhi and or Malcolm X or whoever.
I did not miss that stuff at all. I like him and Marissa working together again. I like Marissa not being in Wagner's court. Like a lot of stuff I didn't like in the previous season is now gone. And I also what's Push Jumbo's replacement? I can't remember her character's name. She's got another weird name, Moya.
Oh yeah. She feels like a different show that I know isn't really starting.
Yeah.
But I like her thing with the gangster.
Her bit with the gangster where she has to represent Wallace Shawn and lose and she doesn't want to. The way that played out and the way that she deals with that by bringing her other criminal as a client, I thought was a ton of fun and really interesting. But I got to tell you, the episode that got me, the one that I'm like, oh, this is the show at its best, was the almost heist-like episode of them trying to find the bone marrow for Richard's nephew.
Yes, where they keep they're doing hallway
courts,
injunction shit,
yard and trying to get him into trials and doing a weird organ swap for right. This person's getting bone marrow and this person's getting a liver and this person's getting the skin graft so that we can get all this done. It's crazy. And it's really good and it's heartfelt too. Like they're just trying to save this kid, which is surprisingly sincere for the Kings. It's a lot of fun. And also John Slattery playing this weird Buddhist LSD doctor.
Giving her the mushroom trip or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
The funniest single thing I think they do on the season, I'm not sure if it's happened for you yet, that at one point Moya shows up with the person she's dating.
Yes. Yeah. And the bit where she's like, Marissa's like, have you noticed how much we look alike?
Everyone in the office is like, yo, she's just dating a clone of you. No, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they discuss, she even goes over and so you see it too, right? Yep.
Yeah, I see it. She didn't start wearing that hair that way until after we start dating. Yeah, it was great fun. It's really good. I always love all the guest judges they've got. They've had a lot of fun with the Trump appointee judges who keep showing up. Like, oh man, these guys should not be on the bench.
Oh man,
they're always calling attention to how fucked our legal system is.
Yes, yeah, and I love it. I can't remember the lawyer's name that got where they end up rescuing him because Trump pardons him.
Yeah. Michael Boatman's character.
Michael Boatman's character. And I love it whenever he shows up to court and it's one of the Trump appointees and all the rest of their lawyers are like, oh fuck, we're screwed. And he walks in and they're always like, hey, what up? Yeah, we all get lunch.
We're part of the pardon 38.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, we're the 38 judges.
Yeah, we still get we all still go for drinks and brunch. Like you what? And you can just see Michael Boatman at the world's whitest fucking country club party here.
And also, much as I didn't like Richard in his first appearance, Andre Braugher, of course, is amazing, and they really sell his story, and I love the way he and Liz, their relationship develops. It's really good.
He's so captivating. Andre Braugher just kills it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's a delight. I also am almost finished with my 4th season rewatch of Parks and Rec, which is Leslie running for city council, and there's a lot of great episodes in there.
Yeah.
The return of Louis C.K., which of course super problematic now, but was kind of interesting fun to watch.
Is that the one where he handcuffs Ben
to the toilet? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And the reveal of Jerry's enormous penis. And I'm trying to think what there's a whole, but the introduction of Champion, the 3-legged dog.
Yes.
Ron's. I'm trying to think what's going on with Ron, but there's a lot of great stuff. Oh, Ron's birthday, which is one of those great bits where he spends the whole day terrified of what giant party Leslie's going to throw.
Yeah.
It's really good, and it's I'm enjoying going through. I guess once I finish, I'll do Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and then we'll have hit the Mike Schur rewatch trifecta this year. I watched Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. 2 episodes dropped this week because one was a bonus drop. I watched the episode that was Uhura. That was a sort of a more of a episode of the week than usual, but I actually really enjoyed it. And then the crossover episode with Lower Decks,
Hell
which
yeah.
was amazing.
That was fantastic. My only complaint is that they didn't get Tindy and
what the fuck?
I had the same thing. I like probably they're like, we don't want to do green body makeup for this poor girl.
and
they
like,
did
do they
for
not,
everybody else.
Maybe they don't look as much. Like, did they just get so lucky with Jack Quaid? And
they all apparently look enough like them that they could play them in real life.
That's, yeah. And then I wish I got
a fucking cyborg eye on Eugene Cordero and let's do this.
Yeah, I was hoping for it. But what we got was great. It was a nice mix of what Strange New Worlds does well, what Lower Decks does well.
Actually does the Boimler walk.
I had to rewind it back.
The boiler walk.
He scurries away from number one. Yeah, numero una.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he does the little like wiggle back and forth walk. Oh, I about fucking died.
Yeah. And apparently that's that
poster that is pinned up. Are
we saying the same thing? About? By the way, I know you guys hated that episode, but
I do like that they
the payoff that is great.
So they basically
it feels so Starfleet to like yeah, to have made the centerpiece of their poster campaign a problem that they created and solved.
Well, I liked the emotional resonance of her when she's like, they put that on the poster. Like she is totally, she's really cool. Moved.
That she has a cool moment.
It is weird that, of course, they make a big deal of like, well, Star Trek fixes it in the future, which makes it a weirder thing of like how wrong they are in that episode.
Mm-hmm. I love that they use the problem to solve it. Like, we're hamstrung by it in Next Gen, but let's go even further.
Yeah. I really like the way they did the time travel stuff where Boimler's like, well, what if I just did it and you guys didn't look?
Oh, God, we can't really do. You know what I'm going to go with? Also, all of Pike's like, Boimler, stop saying things from the future, and you're still doing it. You're just still talking. You know, I can hear you.
You know, I can hear you from across the room here.
I thought also, the span of the room would.
No more Worf's honor.
Oh, damn it!
And then Mariner making them drinks and like.
Yes, that's a thing, and also Mariner's obsession with Hot Spock. Hot Spock agrees with me.
Okay, you did not tell me. Oh, Spock laughing at Boimler and being like, "Oh my god, I broke
all
him."
the weird close-ups.
Yep. Also, like I said, the Una's moment was very sincere. Boimler's like appreciation for them was very sincere. They're throwing back to the Enterprise, which I thought was really cool because nobody talks about Star Trek Enterprise, but like that they're all fans of Archer and those guys. And having this is a little heartbreaking, but Boimler basically revealing to Chapel that she and Spock are not gonna last.
Well, not even that you don't have an effect on Spock.
Like she knows
you
exactly
don't have a
long
term.
Yeah.
That sucks. Like you'd at least, even relationships begin and end, but you at least like to think you have an impact on.
Well, especially like they just kissed. They just started this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And to just go ahead and acknowledge what all the audience knows of like, but wait, this is a pocket romance that can't have any big lasting thing. It's the prequel problem.
Yep.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And also, that one was an actual heartfelt one, but I loved how many times they just had Boimler accidentally reveal, like, not consequential, but just, I will not reveal anything else from the future. Worf's honor. Who? Fuck.
Yeah.
Holy Q. Don't say that. They don't know who Q is yet.
I've not met him yet. Oh, God. Carol Kane.
Yeah.
Also, I love that Boimler has a real problem and like he feels bad and immediately goes to the warp core.
In the next season, have him meet Carol Kane in the future. And,
that'd be amazing.
And be like, oh, hey, it's you again. Like,
of course, then they've locked themselves in and they can't ever kill Carol Kane's character.
No, I would say that's hilarious if she beamed aboard and like onto the Cerritos and only did it now because like, oh yeah, no, by my calculations, you would have met me by now.
Yeah, you've met me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm seeing most people who've seen it seem to, even the people who don't like Lower Decks really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was just wonderful. I love that they colored. This is silly and tiny, but I love that they colored Jack Quaid's hair purple.
Yeah,
and his eyebrows.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, sure. Also, they animated the opening, and they added that weird space monster that's on the Enterprise.
Yep.
Yeah. That animated opening that was great. Yeah. I watched the latest episode of It's Always Sunny, which, man, this season I keep saying it's one of their better seasons.
Is that Frank Fights Russia or Frank defeats Russia?
This is Dennis Takes a Mental Health Day.
Oh God.
Oh,
Have you guys seen this one?
No.
Are you watching? I don't want to spoil it because it is great. Basically,
No, I'll watch it. Yeah.
Dennis discovers he has high blood pressure, and so his watch starts beeping at him, and his doctor is telling him to take a mental health day, and he's trying to stay calm and not unleash his rage.
Oh my God, what does that even look like?
And the world keeps interfering. It is. It's if Falling Down was a comedy, that's what this episode.
Yeah, I'm there for it.
It's a delight, and it is.
Oh, you mean if I'm Falling Down, I'm supposed to laugh at?
Yes, it was supposed to be a comedy. It was comedy on purpose.
If I wasn't a monster.
Yeah, it's a delightful episode. It's one of my favorite of the season, and it's been a good season. Then I watched What We Do in the Shadows season episode 3, which I vaguely remember. I liked it. Oh, it's Nadja swapping with her doll because her doll's mad that she's a virgin.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow. The ending frame on that.
Wow. Yep. And then putting Colin. That was a reference to Malignant, right? Putting Colin Robinson in her head like that.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of immediately. So.
And Nandor's space flight, which also was delightful. Oh, and the Pride Parade. That Sean just thinks they're all gay. I mean, they kind of are. I think they all.
I mean, it's not unreasonable.
Yeah, yeah.
But also the T-shirt that Shawnee settles on. Hey, I'm being super gay over here, or whatever his shirt says.
Yeah.
One is Yas Sean, and the other one is, hey, I'm gay over here.
Yeah. I went and saw the Barbie movie, which I believe we're going to talk about for Patreon.
Yep.
And other than that, it was all homework for me. What about y'all?
Let's see. I'd forgotten to include last week that Lisa and I watched The Outlaws over on Netflix. I think that's on Netflix.
I've heard rough stuff on that one.
It has a couple of laughs. It's not my favorite crass comedy of the last few years, but I don't know. It's fine. I've seen some things of people just like really eviscerating it. I think that probably lives or dies on whether you like Adam Devine.
Okay.
And so he's more in Modern Family mode, where he's like the sweetest guy, and this family is just her family is a bunch of bank robbers. Basically Ellen Barkin and not Tim Oliphant, blanking on the Bond that's in this one.
Yeah, fucking
Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
Yeah. They basically steal the movie. And
British Timothy Oliphant. I like that.
And they steal a bunch of bank stuff too. Yeah, it was fun. Also watched a movie with Nick called Peelers. That was
was that the start of our one word?
Yes, we kind of inadvertently went down
for movies.
Yeah, we went down a one word movie thing. Peelers, basically like zombie versus strippers, but pretty terrible. Not super remarkable.
Not as good as zombies versus strippers. No.
Nick put on the first episode of Murder Drones, which it's a YouTube show about like a post-apocalyptic like robot world, and it's like robots versus robots. It's fun. It doesn't ever really hit emotionally because like every single thing is undercut for a joke. Like that complaint made about Marvel is really actually put into practice here. But it's got a weird Sly Invader Zim type humor to it.
Yeah, like there's these murder bots, and all we've done is fucking build like these walls to protect us. It's like we're begging for an inciting incident.
Yeah, like every once in a while they make like a lot of meta comments and everything. Like, it's not quite there, but it was definitely much better than I thought it was going to be when Nick threw on a YouTube show called Murder Drones. Like I'm living with Kyle here. And then, of course, obviously, when left to my own devices, my taste is impeccable. And that's why I watched or rewatched Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle and most of Cocktail, which is not aged well. You just have to have nostalgia for it. It's aged about exactly the same as it was then. Also watched a bunch of Elementary. I watched that Adam Eve prequel, which I've seen people really raving about.
Which I was not going to watch until Les wanted to know how I reacted to it because I hated Invincible even more than he did.
I really like Adam Eve. She is a much better character, and of course,
that is my takeaway as well. Is that if only the show was about Adam Eve, but even then, this episode was the writing still shows weakness in the fact that the parents are written like no actual human beings talk. There's a weird final speech that like you will identify you to remember me that feels like it's supposed to be important, but it has a couple cool moments with Adam Eve realizing her power and fighting previous the next versions of her that aren't as good and melt like fucking Cronenberg monsters.
We were talking about this on the Rogues podcast this week because we watched the trailer for Gen V, which is the Boys spinoff, and then the trailer for Invincible season 2, which is also coming up, about why the Boys works and Invincible doesn't.
Yes,
and I think having the same talk. Part of it's the quality of the writing, but part of it is that the Boys is also about celebrity culture and spoofing all that. Invincible is just about superheroes, and it doesn't seem to realize what's interesting about superheroes.
No, it's just about a really terrible family. Like, the end of that trailer of you should have died in childbirth. Like, holy fuck.
Jesus. Yeah, well, it's again, even Adam Eve has to go with she can't fix the problem at the end of it, even though she's a god. They have to go with the saddest ending possible.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't remember I remember at least when I was reading the comic before it got into like some later issues where it did get pretty dark and I kind of stopped reading it. But the beginning stuff of it reminded me of Spider-Man. And like, I really liked watching this kid fucking grow up in this weird world of superheroes and try and figure out his place in it. And I didn't hate Mark. I don't remember particularly what I liked about him, but I remember not hating him specifically.
Yeah.
Well, season 2 starts up soon, so
in November. It's why,
Let's see. I watched about half of Ender's Game. Was reminded of the things I liked about the book and how weirdly perfunctory, like ticking boxes, the movie feels. Yeah, odd movie. Of course, the Lower Decks crossover was great. Watched Futurama. Fanny has never seen a Mike Flanagan horror movie, and so we watched Ouija, Origin of Evil, which is closer to his Oculus end of things more than his Bly Manor end of things. And she really dug it, which I was glad. I like that movie. It's really fun. Elizabeth Reeser kills it in that. I watched What We Do in the Shadows, and then like Nick said, we went through a ton of single word movies. We watched Life with Jake Gyllenhaal, not the prison movie, with Jake Gyllenhaal and Rebecca Ferguson. Is it Rebecca Ferguson? Yeah.
Who
has the worst time with sci-fi? Yeah, Ryan Reynolds for just a minute. I had not seen that. That is a fucking bleak movie. Kudos. Also, Cocktail, obviously, one-word movie. We also watched Cop Shop, which is cheating, but does not have a space in it. Is getting away with one-word movie.
That is not one word.
That is Gerard Butler and Frank Grillo looking a hell of a lot like a scruffier Orlando Bloom with his top knot there. And Toby Huss absolutely stealing the movie.
That was made by his production company, which made his latest movie, which is this is the movie that started
it all. Yeah, we watched Plane because Plane is finally streaming, I think on Peacock. Plane is really fun. That movie knows exactly what it is doing.
I've realized that I don't like Gerard Butler. I look at everything he's done. I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything I like. I haven't seen most of his movies.
Like if
you're gonna watch Den of Thieves, my man.
If True Blood style, Joe Manganiello turned into a werewolf, Gerard Butler is halfway through the transformation.
Yeah.
Like if his hairline drops from a 4-head to a 3-head, and
if you tell me that Gerard Butler's in a movie, I'm like, oh, so this is a B level at best action movie. That's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at what he does. I'm like, oh, that is the role he has chosen. If
Peter Dinklage drank the Jekyll and Hyde solution, he would turn into Gerard Butler.
See, I think you're giving Gerard Butler a lot more charisma than he has.
It's called taller.
It's just.
I think if Alex O'Loughlin was transformed, maybe he would turn into Gerard Butler. Or what are the other bland white guys?
I can't tell who we're being mean to in this scenario. Are we being mean to Gerard Butler or the people we're comparing him to?
Both.
There it is. Jai Courtney playing Mel Gibson in a movie.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, that's it.
Ouch.
Jai Courtney's Mel Gibson impression is Gerard Butler. Yes.
It's mean, but it's not wrong.
Anyway, which all saying I'm not going to see Plane. So
we watched Plane, watched Cop Shop.
That's too bad. Plane's really good.
And Cop Shop was really fun as well. Toby Huss steals it as like the world's most insane. Like Gerard Butler is also a bounty hunter assassin who Frank Grillo keeps people keep like, you're a fucking psycho, and he's like, I promise you I'm not.
Nope.
I'm like, well, what's
I'm
the
a
difference?
Professional.
Toby Huss shows up and is the difference. Like Toby Huss's character is nuts, and is really fun to watch for like the whole second act that he's there.
Well, that's a live and breathe, Bob Vidic.
Oh my God, yeah, he's got this crazy redneck accent.
Anthony Lamb, but I'm going by the more informal Tony.
Yeah, he's nuts. It's just Toby Huss just chewing scenery and shooting motherfuckers, mostly cops. And then what was the only other thing I watched?
We watched, as one word, also I threw on Alligator for a minute, which we didn't watch all of, but we watched one kid get eaten in a pool, which was awesome.
No, Ambulance.
Ambulance!
I don't know how I'm supposed to say that with the LA capitalized, but Ambulance, which is Michael Bay doing the Bay-hammiest he could ham. Jake Gyllenhaal. That is an insane movie. Pretty fun. If you at all like it is a Michael Bay movie. The camera never stops like going in like
Jake Gyllenhaal may be doing a Michael Bay impression to Michael Bay's face. Not sure. Yes.
Apparently, the rumor is that
the theory is solid. I feel like it holds. Like there's enough evidence to support further research.
That like for his character, that Jake Gyllenhaal just decided to do a Michael Bay impression during a Michael Bay movie to Michael Bay. It is a crazy movie. Basically, a heist gone wrong, bank robbery gone wrong. They steal an ambulance because their truck's fucked up, and then it becomes like kind of speedish. They won't stop moving because they're on this car chase, but they also have a shot person in the back of the ambulance they're trying to keep alive. It's bananas, and of course it's Michael Bay, so like everything, like pouring coffee is like the most dynamic shot you've ever seen in a movie. I think that's about it.
Yes,
Nick, what did you? Oh, we also watched that Predator fan film. Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, we also watched a few Predator fan films because I forget we were talking about. We got onto like a possible Predator like TV show or something. If we could like make 50-minute Predator short films or something, and I was like, "Hey, have you ever seen a Predator like the Predator fan film Predator Crusader or Crusades?" Basically Predator fighting Templar Crusader and Saracen guide of his, and it's pretty short. It's like 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes tops.
It's more of a proof of concept of I feel like the people who made Prey definitely saw this short film and were like, that's a pretty good idea, setting the Predator in the past. And there's another one, Vietnam. There's a couple Predator short films, but most of them are you want the Vietnam one or the the World War II one, I think.
World War II or the Crusaders one. Yeah.
He's World War II or the Crusaders one. The other ones are there's a tier that it drops down to. I finished off Unicorn Eternal Warriors, which doesn't really have, like, it has an ending sort of, but they kind of alter the timeline as well, so they're begging for a season 2, which seems bold for Tartakovsky. But he's getting a Primal movie, I think, so maybe that dude has some more pull than I think. But yeah, I would say Unicorn Eternal Warriors still very much worth it, just to see. You won't see anything in that art style or anything of quite like it. That isn't another previous Tartakovsky. It's even different than its Tartakovsky origins. It's softer edged and more weird. I don't know. Like this, it feels like in the best ways and sometimes not the best ways, but the Tartakovsky had things from his other projects that he had to kind of move off to a shelf, like he didn't have room for. And here's the project where he threw it all in there. And it gives it a pretty crazy, put together, like scrapbook vibe of like stuff that Tartakovsky likes. Also watched some of The Boys Diabolic, the animated The Boys.
I saw that on your list. Yeah. I'm trying to remember if I watched any of that or not.
I remember watching, I think, the last episode of it when it originally came out. And then I think after we watched Adam Eve separately, we watched The Boys.
It was because of our
together.
discussion of like, is it just because it's animated? Is that why this doesn't work? And we threw on some of The Boys Diabolical, and nope, it's not just the animation.
No,
even the Boys Diabolical works better.
The Boys Diabolic still has the one Andy Samberg wrote was surprisingly different and very about a Korean couple dealing with one of them having cancer and giving the V superpowers, and it seems like it gives the cancer superpowers at first, and accepting death, with just it. The other ones feel very much like they are kind of part of the boys' universe, if a little enhanced. Like the anime one is like Aquafina wrote one where she can make shit sentient and also control it.
You're supposed to inject Compound V. This is what happens when you drink it.
Ah.
Yeah, is that the logic behind it?
That's the logic. That's the law. That is the short description of it.
Okay. That. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
It's nuts. There's a Laser Eyes Baby's Day Out.
Yes.
Where like this baby that has like laser eyes that can cut through anything, but they only activate when he hiccups or burps or laughs.
Directly fucking rips from the movie Baby's Day Out a couple times.
Yes.
Which is a movie I don't think people like remember, but a movie I like.
And I think Ben Schwartz he never speaks, but Ben Schwartz does
Ben Schwartz is the
grunts
main
and whatever of the main character.
But he does the very Tex Avery but with a new kind of style of say the new Animaniacs type animation style, basically.
Yeah, they put a filter over it to make it feel older, but the animation style is a little bit new. They were a lot of fun. We didn't watch all the episodes, but all the ones we watched were fun.
Justin Roiland did one where all the freaks, the people who get shitty superpowers. Christian Slater plays the narrator, who's just his power is to narrate what's going on.
There's a dude who his power is having a speaker for a head, but he can only play Only Want to Be With You by Hootie and the Blowfish.
Hootie and the Blowfish, yeah.
It's just the worst superpowers, and
that's the kill montage song they put on. Man, put on all right, put on something to fucking kill to beatbox head, and it's guys, he can only play the one song.
Yeah, they go get
really
vengeance
setting
on
them up
their
for
parents,
failure there.
For getting them injected with Compound V. It's crazy.
One guy can turn into animals like Beast Boy, but once he does, he turns in mind and body. So if he forgets what he was doing.
Yeah, he becomes a gorilla, but then the gorilla just runs off and breaks a bunch of shit. Or he turns into a snake and immediately just slithers away. Because you can't keep him on task.
Yeah. Very fun. Yeah, other than that, I think that was pretty much all I watched this week.
All right, well, this is a good reminder. You can support us by going over to patreon.com/tvdudes and throw us a buck an episode. And in exchange, we're going to keep with our streaming services, pay for our hosting costs, and you get bonus content each week. And this week, we are talking about part 1 of the Barbieheimer. We're talking about Barbie.
Please don't make that. That makes it sound like we're going to talk about Oppenheimer next, and I don't want to do that.
I'm going to leave that out there forever because I'm never going to watch Oppenheimer. So
that feels like work. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Barbie. We're actually never going to talk about Oppenheimer. I just think it's funny that Barbenheimer has become a thing.
Sure.
There's a theoretical universe where we saw them the opposite, where we saw Oppenheimer, but
yeah.
Someone went back and did what the double feature would have been with The Dark Knight and Memento, and made a Barbenheimer.
What the most inappropriate counter program movie? Yeah.
I forget what they are off the top of my head, but it made me giggle for a minute.
Nice. All right, let's talk about our main course. Let's talk about Justified City Primeval, which is this is a mini series, right? I want to say it's 6 episodes or even 5.
I feel like everything is. I don't know what.
I think it's really short.
What's weird is that I feel more excited about this and special about this than Futurama coming back, because at this point, Futurama coming back is okay.
Again?
Okay, so this is an 8-part series. Okay, so it's not that short.
Okay.
So have y'all read City Primeval?
I have not. I've not read any of the. I know Fire in the Hole is the short story the original series was started from, but I've not read these.
I've read a fair amount of Elmore Leonard. I'm a big Elmore Leonard fan, and I've read City Primeval, but it was long enough ago that I don't remember very much of it. What I do remember is it's set in Detroit. Raylan Givens is not in it because it was written well before Raylan was created.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure that's an easy switch in, though.
Raymond Cruz, who is the police detective, the Detroit police detective, is the lead. And he shows up and out of sight briefly. And he's like he helps
Okay.
the federal marshal. He helps her. I forget. I'm blanking on her name. Carla Gugino, Jennifer Lopez, her character.
Yeah.
He gets her. He's like talking to her, and he's like a friend of hers.
Karen Sisko.
Yeah, Karen Sisko. So he's a character I like, and he's not in this, but they refer to him, and I'm almost thinking I'm almost wondering if this is a sequel to the novel, because they it almost feels like
they do. Is he the guy they talk about, the guy that brought down what's his name originally?
Clement Mansell.
Yes,
yeah, and
he's off fishing now.
And he's off fishing. They don't know where he's at. Like, oh, the detective that originally brought him down. Okay.
Yes, and so now I'm like, man, I wish my memory was better, because I'm almost feels like is this a sequel of sorts? Like, was Clement Mansell the bad guy in that, and they are riffing on it? But it's
that's kind of neat.
Is the original City Primeval about the wrecking crew thing? I wonder.
That's what I'm wondering, and I was gonna. Like I said, I don't have time to read
that. Actually makes me kind of want to read it, though.
Yeah. It's
Man, if there had not been a previous show, if this were the pilot, I would still be into this show.
Okay, so no, the novel is Clement Mansell kills a crooked judge.
Nope.
Raymond Cruz pursues him, tries to extort money from an Albanian criminal. So it
that's
is
definitely
They just replaced him with
Raylan in there.
Yeah, they just replaced him with Givens. Okay.
Yeah. But interestingly, so I missed the Kentucky of it all, to be honest. I know Detroit is very much in Elmer's wheelhouse. I love Out of Sight, which is a big chunk of it in Detroit. But they're not doing as much with the fish out of water thing as I would like.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it is a little weird that, yes, they're kind of pointing out that Raylan's the way Raylan is very different in a post George Floyd world, but they're not highlighting that either. There still feels a little propaganda in some places to me, and so I don't love it as much. I wanted it to be a lot more different than it is, but instead it's like, here's more justified.
Yeah.
Well, that's for me. That's the best thing. Like, the best thing going for it is that it just feels like.
Well, I like that they didn't make a big deal.
No pressure about new stuff or anything. Like, just here's more justified.
They didn't make a big deal about, like, the first time Raylan gets out of the car or the first time he puts on the hat. Like, he just fucking shows up with his kid.
Just back. Yeah.
He's just back.
Yeah, for better or worse. Like, this just feels like how many really were there? 5 seasons? Like, this just feels like another season.
Yeah, it does.
Which is a great thing to say about it, but also, yeah, I was surprised that they even do as much as they do in the courtroom of the other lawyer, the defense lawyer, just destroying him.
Yeah.
And he's not on trial here. Give me a minute.
But also, he kind of doesn't care, and half kind of
he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He likes the fight. Like, he likes the fucking defense attorney. Like,
no, they're gonna.
They're flirting hard.
What's Keith David's line about fucking the kid's mom? Of like, look, I gave her son the maximum, and she still wanted a piece. What do you want me to do? Like, not sleep with her would have been great, but I get you.
I feel like they're missing some stuff. I know the actor trying to be a shitbag, but I miss Art.
Oh, did he turn out to be a shitbag?
Oh, he's a piece of shit. Yeah.
Oh, that's a real bummer.
Yeah. And I miss the other marshals, honestly. I definitely miss Walton Goggins. Like having that. But that said, Boyd Holbrook is a pretty great.
Boyd's great. Yeah. He's
my God. So that's, as far as Futurama coming back, I was like, I feel like Futurama's done what it wanted to do. If it hasn't done what it wanted to do in its seasons, like, Justified has the chance to rectify a wrong, and that is to have Boyd Holbrook was not big enough at the time to be in the show he deserved to be in.
But he's from Kentucky, and he should be in this show.
He should get he's a justified villain. Like it. Yeah. I've seen him in other roles where, like, in Logan, I was like, motherfucker, he's a justified villain with a cyborg hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Might wise live and breathe the Wolverine. I mean, Raylan Givens.
Honestly, that is the thing about this that makes it work for me. Is Boyd Holbrook's villain is the best part of this show.
Yes, he's so good in it.
But I was thinking about, like, all of the other crime series recently that have started up that we've, have either been slow or weirdly paced, and we're always surprised at, like, oh wow, I'm actually plugged. I think I plugged into this or back into this easier than Florida Man or any number, like even Hijack. Like, if not for Idris Elba, I don't think I would have gone far enough to plug into well enough.
Yeah, I get that.
Whereas, like, by the end of the first episode of this one, with the judge dead and going, okay, this is that Elmore Leonard. You had a pretty good plan, but it ran afoul of someone else's half stupid plan.
Yep. Yeah.
Like there's like 3 perfectly good criminal conspiracies happening here, but you did them too close to each other.
Yeah.
So what's can I just ask you a question, Judge? What's more surprising, that someone tried to kill you, or that it hasn't happened more often?
I loved him just whispering that as an aside from the stand.
Him and his kid getting thrown in contempt together feels like that's how you start a Justified show. Like, yeah.
But also about right. Like Keith David being an under investigation judge, who happens to get like these guys that Raylan drags up from. They just happen to run into the wrong car, like. Trying to carjack the wrong car. There's a lot of weird coincidence stuff.
That are there too. It explains later of like the fucking secretary was a CI of like shit. That's why you were involved in that, because you can't investigate a dead guy.
But I love that the attorney that likes Raylan, she doesn't know it, but if she's worried about her tax lien from her ex fucking up her being a judge, the thing Boyd stole, or whatever his name is in the show, the thing he stole could insure her judgeship. Because it was insuring Keith David's.
For sure.
Like I had a moment of like, you don't realize that the client, like he's your client, the client you fucking hate, has. Well,
that's what I'm thinking is that
make your life in this city.
He doesn't like. What Clemens doesn't know how to like. Why he's ripping off that Albanian justice? He doesn't know how to monetize that ledger yet.
Right. Yeah.
Like he's not. He's slick, but he's not a mastermind. Like
he's not.
There's that great guy the other day, gun to his head. He said, "Can I Venmo you?"
I was so sad. I fucking drunk myself. Stupid.
Did you guys see the 3rd episode, the one that just dropped? Okay, yeah. When they're interrogating him, the interrogation, he's like, you're not what we call a master criminal.
It's one of the things he doesn't have to be, because he's halfway clever enough to get people to do stuff for him.
Yeah, and he's utterly ruthless.
He's ruthless, and honestly, other people that are invested in him not getting caught, like the Sweetie.
Yeah,
Sweetie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweetie is fucking up by not giving those cops that gun immediately.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to use this as my say. I'm like, dude, you want this guy out of your life as fast as possible.
Guy, I know that you are concerned about going to jail for like stuff you probably did do, but hey, this guy's on the hook for a judge. They will cut a deal with you to make that happen. You want no jail time? You might do probation or something, but they will fucking work with you.
This guy shot like 4 of your friends in front of you. Do you really think he won't kill you?
You gotta get this guy out of here, but out of your life, man.
Like, yeah, I mean, if you got your current partner when they were cheating, you know they're going to cheat on you. Like,
it's
It also, you partnered up with him when he shot your other partners. You don't think he's going to shoot you?
It rides the line of the best episodes of Justified, in which I like the charismatic villain, like Boyd, or however it happens to be that season, Mags, or just full of fucking character actors or whatever season it's in. And I'm a little scared of Rayland.
Yeah.
Because when he goes to fuck with his kid, I was like, oh my God, why did you? He didn't care about you before. He's actually low-key annoyed having to be here and wants to go home.
Doesn't care about you at all.
Don't make this personal.
Yeah.
When Holbrook's like, you wouldn't shoot an unarmed man, would you? And the camera cuts to Raylan's face for a moment, and he is considering it.
Yep.
Like, you can see his eyes of like,
well,
no.
And we all know. We're like, yes, he would.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Flick one bullet at you, tell you the next one's coming faster.
That's where I would disagree. Just the last episode of the final season shows that Boyd drops his gun and proves Raylan's point on it. Like, he won't pick up the gun, and Raylan doesn't shoot him. But he wasn't fucking with his kid. So there's a level of like, oh, I don't know, man. There's extenuating. I would still not bank heavily on. I would not bet everything on it.
Yeah. Well, this guy, I mean, he doesn't know Raylan. To him, he's like lawmen. They don't do that kind of thing. And I'm like, that's Raylan's whole thing.
Yeah.
No,
you read up on him, man.
You fucked with an actual like old school cowboy, and for better or worse.
Yeah. Now I will say this. I know it's his actual daughter. I don't think Willa is adding a lot to the show.
No, I think her
really
leaving
sad.
the show is best because I think there's a genuine chemistry that comes from having with the
sure,
it's his real daughter,
and the dad, and And they mine that for what it's worth, and then I think they're gonna ditch her and then maybe we'll see her at the end of the end of the series or end of the season or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's a smart move because I don't think she is.
It's not working. It's not working.
No, and she's. It's hard to not get mad at the little kidness of her. Kind of the same way I yell at Joyce during Minx. For just being like ridiculously out of touch with the reality of it and mad at her dad about it. It's
don't
very
go
true.
Out into just
it's very
random
true in
Detroit.
Teenager, but my God,
but then like a random adult shouldn't go out randomly in Detroit or in just abandoned fucking like what was it, like abandoned motor factory?
Yeah. No, she's just walking through like someplace where RoboCop gets made.
Like cool. I hope you only come back with tetanus.
I mean the drug shooting, like the Clarence putting bullets in him part. But then when he puts her on the plane, I like that moment really worked of like, dude, you are fucking up. Like, I know you don't have a better option and she will probably get hurt only because she won't actually stay in the room.
Yeah.
Like you can't count on her to listen to, she won't listen to you enough to stay safe, to stay here. Like, but that's hard to put to her of like, the reason that you have to go to mom's or wherever the fuck he's sending her is because you won't listen to me at all.
Well, he puts that like, why don't you just say it would be easier here without me? And it's like, do you really want to say that? Because that's factually true.
Like,
you don't want him to say that because that's true. And it's not the same thing as him not wanting you to be there. I can't. Look, I can either do my job or be on vacation with you. I can't do both. And my job is telling me I have to catch this guy.
Right.
I've asked multiple times to like not be on this case. And yet here I am.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad. Like, I was watching the scene and my heart was breaking because I had divorced parents. I got put on an airplane a bunch. And just watching it go in, man, her walking herself down that gangplank by herself crying, you have changed your relationship with your daughter.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the thing. It's like,
she views you different as a dad now, man. This is going to stick.
And I would say, cool, she can do that as she's alive because
you've kept her physically safe, but not emotionally safe. And that is going to have consequences. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Again, I just need, it really like sit her down and like, do you realize what a dangerous person you were actually sitting with for an hour and just.
But she can't understand that. She's not old enough to understand that. You cannot reason with her that way. She's a fucking teenager.
And you get to see Raylan be simultaneously a very good dad, and also you get why like Raylan's not a great dad really. Like you get why this kid's gonna have a lot of valid complaints about her dad, while at the same time, from another point of view, her dad is an amazing father.
Yeah,
but also he's a fuck up in that sense.
He is, like I say, he's keeping her safe. He knows how to keep her alive where other people wouldn't. But he does not know how to be her dad when she needs her dad. He is only Raylan. And I think that's
the only way he could do it is to actually just quit his job right then and there and go home.
And that's the thing he will not do.
No, but he can't do it because he loves the job.
Yeah.
And honestly, she wouldn't like the person he would be if he did that.
No, she would not. Like he would immediately resent her, and it's why him and Winona aren't together.
Right. Yeah.
That was a good line by Boyd Holbrook too, of like only two types of people in this game at your age: the people that got passed over for the big chair, and the people that just love it too much until they got to get dragged off. And it's just whether or not you're alive when they drag you off.
Yep. Yeah. It's great. It's good to have it back. I'm not feeling it the way I did back in the day, but I think that's just because things have changed and I can't enjoy cop shows in the way I used to.
I think it's better than some of the couple of the later seasons where I don't think anything can reach season 2 with Mags.
Oh man, I agree that's the hype, but I think the show was great toward the end. I think.
Oh, I also agree. I never disliked it, but I feel like this is the same quality as season 5 or 6.
I'd have to go back and look. I remember liking them better, but again, like I say, I don't think it's anything about the show.
The world may have,
I think it's the world and me that have changed.
Yeah.
On this lonely road, trying to make it home, doing it by my lonesome, pissed off, full on son. I'm fighting for my soul. God, get at your boy. You try to go, God, fall back. I go hard on this lonely road, trying to make it home, doing it by my lonesome, pissed off, full on son. I see them long, hard times to
come. Let's talk about the other return. Let's talk about Futurama, which I forgot, didn't get around to watching. I have only a mild fondness for Futurama. I've seen probably all the first season and some scattered stuff throughout. I've not seen most of it. So I'm not like super excited to see.
I love Futurama.
I love Futurama, and it's been an up and down. When it finally came back on Comedy Central and it had that final goodbye, I was like, good for you guys. You went in and you came out and you went out on the strongest fucking note you possibly could have.
Yeah, but before we had all the, how was Parks and Rec's finale, how was like Futurama stuck the landing so beautifully, because they literally made a closed time loop. Like the final scene of the final episode freezes all time. Fry and Leela get to live out their entire lives to old age together, in love and married.
The final line even makes me tear up of like, hey, what do you say? Do you want to go around again?
The professor finally finds them after having tunneled through time looking around for them, and asks them, hey, I can reboot everything, but it's going to set you back. Like, it's going to set you back to start. Do you want to go? And Fry looks at Leela and like, you want to go around again? I do. And like,
yes,
it's
sweet and when touching he hits the and button, awesome.
It does the light, like their opening light fold, like the spotlight that fans out. They do the opposite of that. And when it first aired, when I watched it on Comedy Central, they ran the last episode and then started a Futurama marathon. So that last episode, hey, do you want to go around again? And the thing blipped out and then blipped back in and started the first episode. And it looked fully planned and like, holy shit, you just made a perfect loop out of your series. That is so Futurama. This absolutely undoes all of that. That said, it feels it's kind of similar to City Primeval. It just feels like another Futurama episode back. Even though the first episode does have to deal with, which is really fun, but it definitely has to ignore some stuff. They do as cute a way as possible.
It's a time jump. They jump 10 years in the future without actually acknowledging any sort of time jump. But now in the later episodes, we've already seen some of the synopsis, and they're going to do stuff like Amy and Kif's kids that got meant like their eggs that got laid in one of those episodes. They're actually going to go back to them. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting to go back to previous plot points. You can now explore more. But I got to say, it feels cool. I don't feel like that however they end this is not going to be as good as how they ended it. That previous episode, it almost can't be. So
it feels wildly unnecessary and inoffensive is about the best I could say about I'm going to watch all of it. I'm also going to ignore it later.
Like we couldn't make Disenchantment work. Let's go back to what we did before.
Like Hulu went, what do we still own?
Into greenlighting this motherfucker again. When we're going to viciously, they make fun of Hulu so much for greenlighting their idea.
Yeah. The whole first episode is just bagging on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Like half the office space at Hulu is abandoned and for rent. It's like $12.99 to rent it a month or $6.99 with ads.
But it's $6.99 with ads. Yeah.
Like they just bag on like they'll bring any piece of crap back. Let's start a letter writing campaign and protest. That's a recipe for failure. Let's punch someone. Like they just go and get the show put back on the air. Yeah, and of course the actual plot of the episode is that Fry decides he needs a purpose in life and he wants to impress Leela, and so like all guys his age, he decides to impress her by watching all of television. And they have a tech in the future called binging, which does not mean what you think it means. And it's like this fucking metal suit that drills into your visual cortex and allows you to watch shows like at double speed. And so he watches through like thousands and thousands of episodes, and then they have to start making more episodes on the fly, like in real time, because he'll die if they stop.
But then he's watching on double speed.
Yeah, so now they got to make it into all of these bags of like, no, I tried to keep watching the show, but in the later seasons, it's so bad.
The writing and the executive producing.
Like it's just, I wish they could get back to the, like, yeah, it's doing the Rick and Morty thing of just like bagging on Hulu, bagging on reboots, bagging on doing it. Yeah, I'm going to watch all of this season. It feels like Futurama to me, but I'm also going to ignore it later and keep doing the reboot loop ending episode because it was too good.
It also speaks to the inoffensiveness, or in that Les was speaking. I can't remember if Leela and Fry are still married in this continuity or not.
They are. I think they're still
together.
Are they? Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
I can't really remember, and it feels like it should matter, but
I say that only because she backs his play through the whole thing. Like, she doesn't want to crush his dreams.
Sure, but they were boyfriend and girlfriend before that. They weren't married, but I just don't remember.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it actually undid their wedding.
Yeah, they were in a relationship for the Comedy Central season for most of that. I think I remember right. And yeah, I don't know. The jokes are still there. The writing structure is still there. It just feels. It was a more of a thing I didn't like. It's the first time Futurama gave me more when I didn't ask for it, and it's a weird feel. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
It's incredibly unnecessary. I'm enjoying it, but like, let's just be honest.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the other side dish we had this week, and that is Minx, which comes back for a season 2. I think I was more taken with the show than y'all were.
I think I was just more annoyed by Joyce than you were.
Yeah.
The rest of the show is so good that it makes me angry sometimes when she comes on screen. Like, everyone else is great.
I get that Joyce is annoying. I do. But I kind of like her.
It's that she in the first season, at least, I realized I'd stopped at episode 2, I think. So I started rewatching the first season after watching the season 2 opener. I enjoyed the season 2 opener.
So you didn't see most of her growth arc then. Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. I was like,
arc? She learns the same lesson 5 times. Jesus.
And that's the thing. Like, we just got to episode 6 where she finally manipulates her publisher a little bit, Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
And like is finally getting it a little bit with talking to the women in the mob. But before that, it feels like she learns a slight lesson in some episodes, and then we get to the start of the next one, and it's almost like a sitcom. Like, she's
back to zero.
Right back on her bullshit. I thought she learned a lesson, and then we get to the episode where she sleeps with the cover guy, and like the start of that episode is right back to like, oh, they had just gone through all her articles in the previous episode and told her like none of this is good. All of these headlines, like, what was the guy like? I can't read this, and it feels like it's mad at me for trying. But
thank you. I thought you said that. It feels angry at me for this is one paragraph. This is all one paragraph, Joyce. I feel attacked.
Yeah.
I think you have to remember that this takes place in like the 70s.
Oh, I remember.
Like, women can't have credit.
She is written like a modern day woman, though, and it's infuriating. It feels like she's not grown up in the 60s.
But I think that's the thing. I think she is supposed to be ahead of her time. She realizes how fucked it is that women can't have credit cards. But she feels like an
actual time traveler. Like, that's the problem. Like, she's grown up in the same world everyone else is, and is somehow still confused that she has to appease a man to get a thing.
Yeah. I don't think she's confused. I think she's fucking done. I think she's done.
No, she feels surprised every time that they come up against a thing.
Is it episode 5 or 6 that she goes and meets when they have the bonfire at the college campus? And I think it's episode 6, where she goes and meets the campus feminist group.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And they are like, it's the first time. Like, I wanted to applaud. It was like it's the first time that she hears how insane she sounds sometimes.
Yeah.
With the like, oh, so Madison Avenue dictates what you publish. Like,
I wish.
Well, someone does. I mean, it does take money to publish it. Like, okay. We're raising an issue if you don't go far. Like, they're raising everything that she keeps raising.
Yeah.
In business things, but it kills me. We talk about sometimes on shows like Ted on How I Met Your Mother, just being like this neutral gray spot in the middle, like that everybody else. But there's occasions where it feels like everyone else in the show has to stop, turn, and drag Joyce through the plot.
I get that.
Or at least remind her that, like, so it's not that we're less than you and pornographers. We're employees of yours.
Yeah.
You're a pornographer.
Yeah. So coming to it at season 2. Did you guys watch the season 2 episode?
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't, but I watched some of the season 1 and was reminded why, like, and Les actually pointed out of like, oh, she's Chuck. That's why I hate her.
She feels like Chuck from from Better Call Saul to me.
She's condescending and just a bitch the entire like she's until the end of the episode where she learns her lesson for a half second until she forgets it at the start of the next episode.
So I think, and I guess, and I can speak to this. I feel like Joyce changed notably from season 1 to season 2.
I feel like in the season 2 opener, yeah, she feels a little bit better, but it's hard to know because she's telling all the publishers no.
But also I thought that was really fun. That basically they're pointing out they always want to have Joyce. She's one of the co-leads, but at the same time they want her to have this problem. The same way that Doug, Jake Johnson's character,
Doug,
he should be smarter by now too. Like he is always, as much as she's always surprised when pornographers are pornographers or men, he is always surprised when people don't get him. And I'm like, dude, you are a pornographer. You are dealing with different people here. You should know. You claim to be the smart guy, but you act like this around everyone, and don't ever seem to understand when people are like, "No, man, I'm not going to drive a fucking truck with you. We're 35 now." Like,
yeah, when Tina has to look at it, Tina has to straight up look at him of like, "No, honey, the time is over. The time for that level of stupid plan has passed."
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's it. I like. Jake Johnson's great, and I love every minute of him.
I'm going to finish out the first season tonight because I feel like she is in the one we just saw. Like she's starting to see it.
Yeah,
I just wanted that to happen they're just a little bit overcranked for me. I ended up liking from the jump everyone else in the show more than Joyce, like so much more than Joyce.
And that is the thing. The cast is fantastic. Bambi is amazing.
It should be I can't remember the sister's name. It should be the Bambi in her show. I
love all the other characters, and I wish it felt like, and maybe in season it doesn't sound like in season 2 because you can't pick a publisher, and that without a publisher you don't have a fucking magazine. But from what I've watched, it feels like the magazine is succeeding despite her, like not because of her.
Well, the central arc of season 2 or the first episode of season 2 is picking a publisher when they're being courted by like Condé Nast and all these people who we all know are not going to publish Minx. Like they can't possibly do it.
No, they're going to sand all the edges off. You're going to be Cosmo at best. Yeah.
And there's no way that she should make this. Like the reason she won't commit to it isn't because Joyce is being Joyce. She knows on some level not to make this deal.
Yeah. And I feel like it could be just Joyce being Joyce.
You haven't seen the fucking episode, Nick.
Well, why not just take the money and avoid being, because otherwise you don't have a magazine. It doesn't actually exist.
2, everybody's like, you should work. Oh, you go work on the magazine. There's not a magazine.
Yeah, the way that she is about to make the deal, and Doug basically rescues her from it, and you can tell he talks about it. He knows her better than she knows herself, and he's like, I saw the fake smile you gave them, and the real smile you gave me, and I think that is Joyce knowing she needs to be. She and Doug work together well.
No, you're right.
They are the ones.
Yeah.
Randy, you've convinced me. Now that I know a man saves her again from a bad decision and helps her follow her. I wish she wasn't the worst.
Well,
it does bug me that on this feminist show, either the guy from Lad magazine or Doug drags her through.
I love Jake Johnson. He should not be the hero of every episode. He should be wrong every once in a while.
Oh, he's wrong a lot.
Not when it comes when they argue, he's right every time he tells her something.
With the Steven Tobolowsky thing.
You're still talking about the first season. I'm talking about the second season, first episode you have not watched.
Sure.
And I'm saying that that Doug is very wrong in this episode, like throughout. The only thing he gets right is when he finally goes back to Joyce and basically begs her to, hey, give me another chance. Let's try and do this again.
Honestly, how fucking literally bankrupt and completely screwed Doug is.
He's so
in the start
fucked,
of season 2 is kind of what made me want to go back and watch. Like, okay, I'm hoping that Joyce learns like some lessons from episode 1 of season 1, but mostly I just want to see like, oh my god, how Doug goes to like an increasingly shady list of friends looking for money, and everybody's like, no man. You changed. You backed this crazy woman.
The thing that I really loved in season 2 so far, we've already seen her. She's killing on Afterparty. Elizabeth, not Berkeley. Elizabeth Perkins.
Yes.
Elizabeth Perkins as the rich woman who basically got almost assassinated for running her company.
Yeah.
Who now basically decides to bankroll them.
She's like a shipping magnate now. Yeah.
Yeah. I am so excited to have her as the co-publisher and to watch because she is smarter than Doug in ways that Joyce is not.
Right.
Joyce is smarter than Doug in certain ways, but she is smarter than both of them in other ways. And I think it's gonna be interesting seeing that.
Well, it's not just the college. Like Joyce has been to a lot of college and knows a lot of theory about stuff. Doug has been to the real world and has lived there. And this lady's got both.
She's got both, yeah.
But she's got that Gene Smart hacks vibe of like, you are insane.
Yes.
Rich.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Also, them going and doing the photo shoot of the guy draped across leads to two of the best conversations in the episode for me, or the whole series really. When she realizes, like, wait a minute, Joyce is like, looks at the little photographer guy, Rico?
Yeah. Yeah, Rico, yeah.
And says, hey, wait, is this Reflections of Desire? He's like, look, Dicks and Mirrors is my idea. No, it's our next photo. It's our next centerfold for the next magazine. We don't have a magazine. You don't have a publisher. I need to make rent. I'm using my idea. Like, just flat shuts her down.
Yep.
But then when he shoots the shots of Elizabeth Perkins with this guy that sounds like she just bought a fucking pretty dude to drape across her.
Yep.
When Jake Johnson comes to see what Doug is talking to him and he's got all the photos hung up and like, man, you've really got an eye. It's your work is really good. Nope, you're fucking up here though. Nobody wants gray hair on a bush. I don't know. And it's not just that he's like, no one wants old porn. He stops. He's like, I don't know why. Like, like there's a moment of like, at some point, Spitball and magazines.
I speak from experience.
He was published and lost.
We
money.
Tried this once.
I think he names it. I think he names the magazine that he
says do an old. Like, don't you remember when we did? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that made me crack up. Of like, now you're fucking up here.
Yeah. This is a lot of fun. I will admit, I think I'm a little influenced about it by seeing the two of them talk at ATX TV Fest and talk about how much love they love making it, and talk about the weird shit like having all the dicks on the set and just how used to male nudity you get and how you never get used to it at the same time. And
I want all of Doug's outfits. I want Doug's costume.
I could really need to see this this human being like as a person is probably a better way to like actually enter in.
But I'm so glad this show season 2 was all but complete. There was one episode left to film and Zaslav killed it.
Damn.
Wow.
And because it's not owned by Max, because it's a Lionsgate production, they went to Starz, which I guess they own, and were like, hey, do you want a full season of TV that was made with HBO money and all you gotta do is pay for the final episode? Like, yeah.
Fucking deal, baby. You're never going to get a deal like this.
Right.
Yeah. A show that is at max level quality with a great cast that's already paid for. Like,
like, I don't know what they're going to do if they get a third season, because I don't know if Starz is going to pony out
they can afford it.
Fucking money that they
right.
Yeah, but I love that this exists. I didn't think I would be excited for this to come back, and I'm really enjoying it now. I'm still mad at Joyce every episode, but honestly, every single character is every other character is so gold.
Yeah.
I do notice I'm mad at her less. In the last episode we watched, I'm mad at her less.
Yeah, that's what I will say.
She finally had a moment of just shutting down the like, oh my God, you naive fucking.
She ran into a room of other Joyces.
Curtain.
And she ran into a room of other Joyces and hurt herself for the first time. And I was like, yes, okay, yeah, all right, she's getting it.
Because I was just as annoyed as y'all with Joyce and I wasn't sure about Minx because of that early on. But I grew to really like the whole show, Minx, Joyce, and all. So I think she did grow for me.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm glad it's back. I'm definitely gonna be watching the rest of the season.
I will watch a whole Bambi show.
Yeah,
oh man,
sure.
Literally every time she mentions anything she's doing, it's crazy.
I will watch her trade out prizes and cereal boxes for panties. Let's do this.
Like Elliot Gould's stunt double is throwing a rager. I heard Bread's ex-drummer is gonna play. he got kicked off for rocking too hard.
Hell's Angels is doing security, but I used to bang their chief.
Yeah, used to bang their road.
Tell me your story, Bambi.
Like all of it. You were at Juilliard for a semester. What the fuck?
God damn it! You're a fascinating human being. I must know you.
All right, let's have some dessert. Let's start with My Adventures of Superman, which this week Elon Musked up.
Shit, they did a really different version of Parasite.
Yeah, they're doing tech instead. Superman's villains are all tech instead of alien power based or anything.
Because what we talked about last week of the Kryptonian fighting tech that everyone has kind of picked up and adapted.
Yeah, I think it's really smart. I think it works.
Yeah, they're going to do electrical and magic a lot, apparently.
It also looks like an anime power suit, like that also corrupts you. Mm-hmm. Like, what's it? It's not Gantz, but something like it. Kill a kid. Yeah, or something like that, where like you're or Guyver, or like that the suit is kind of also cyborged part of you, and it, like draining you of resources. Like, there's a price to be paid for that. Like that.
I want to make sure people know there are no blood-sucking bikinis in the Adventure of Superman yet.
Not yet. We don't want to rule it out, though.
I thought them doing this guy, basically he's an Elon Musk type, he's a piece of shit.
Yes.
I loved having Clark.
What if Tony Stark was even more insufferable? Yeah. Just even more of a douchebag.
And I loved having Clark be the guy who gets thrown out.
Yes, that was so great.
That was wonderful. Clark laying into him was so great.
Yep. Lois opened the door. I don't know. I can't know if I should let such a rule breaker in here.
You didn't use the cards.
Their relationship, their back and forth is like the highlight of this show. It is good.
Because it's rare that Lois falls for Clark.
Yes.
Eventually she falls for Clark, but she always falls for Superman first. And in this one, Superman she doesn't like him. She's like, he's a liar.
Yeah, liar.
I'm mad at him, but she likes Clark. And I love where they went with this. Like, Clark almost tells her.
Yeah.
And then she does the thing of like, no, he's a liar. And he's like, well, fuck. And then she figures it out, which is gonna be so much worse.
Oh man, I'm that's so much confidence in having her figure it out this episode. And like,
that's what I thought too. It's the Mike Schur thing.
It's
the let's fucking do it.
Let's fucking go.
And it solves the problem that you always run into on a Superman show. The longer that Lois goes without knowing, the worse she is. The longer she looks like a moron. Central.
Yeah.
And being an investigative reporter she's the best in the world. So like the longer she's stupid, he is either chumping her or she's bad at her job. So like I love that she fucking figures it out.
Also, I can't wait for the is there anything you want to tell me, Claw? Like, it's definitely gonna be the like her trying to like I want him to tell me in my own time, but I also want him to tell me. Like,
I don't think so. I think she's gonna go at him.
You think she's gonna go at him? Like, you think first scene next episode is gonna be, so what's up, Soups?
I think she's pissed at him. I don't think she's gonna give him the chance. I don't think she wants to give him the chance. I think she's pissed.
I think she likes Clark. I think she likes Clark enough that, because if it was just Superman, it was some random guy, you're right, she'd be mad. But I think she's into Clark enough that it's gonna be a cute thing of her trying to hint that she knows and try to like, come on, man, you just tell me, buddy. And he won't. And then they're gonna have a whole blow up of like, I know you fucking moron.
Yeah, I was so shocked that they did that.
Yeah,
and in a good way. I was like, oh, this whole. I mean, it turned up the enjoyment of the show for me. I'm like, oh shit, if you guys will do that, then you'll do anything.
We're just moving along. Yeah.
Well, Lois straight up punches the dude this episode of like, sorry, your life seems hard. Boom. Pop.
Yeah.
And loving this show. Man, everyone is so. It makes me think. Like, I'm glad they're not doing Lex. And if they do Lex in another season, I want Lex to be the only person that's not obsessed with Superman. Everyone else seems weirdly like, how dare you have all the power? And like, I love Clark is always like, I don't know you. Who are you? I just got. Who I don't. What is this?
Yeah.
You're not my nemesis. Who are you? Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the after party of the week, which is the Wes Anderson episode.
Oh man,
you were talking about nail a look.
Yeah, oh my god, they nailed it.
That cinematographer, you gotta like, man, it really like it.
Props to the art department, all of it.
Yep.
So when they did the action episode, it felt like a kind of a ripoff of John Wick for the action episode of the last one, and then the musical episode felt like a ripoff of High School Musical.
Yeah,
this felt like oh shit, this feels like a long lost fucking
Wes Anderson
movie. Like there's shots in it that look like, god damn, dude. I guess it's hard to make fun of a thing when it's so already out of proportion.
Right. Yeah.
They managed to do it a couple times with like the spotlight.
Honestly, I like this better than Asteroid City.
Oh, did you? Okay, I still haven't seen Asteroid City.
I enjoyed Asteroid City. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, this was more fun. This is a blast. And I think that they for them to have just like nailed this down and they moved the story forward at the same time. This was my favorite episode of season 2 so far.
So far, yeah, I think so too. The Noir episode was amazing, but this might be my favorite so far. This one immediately made me want to go back and watch Grace's and see, like, it's already starting to pick up things of like, fuck, was that in the? How did that go in the other version?
Well, I remember Grace skips over that trip she mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like, oh, he didn't go with you? It was like, no, it was fine. And she kind of skips over it. And I just thought she skipped over it because she didn't want to make them feel like she hated her husband. But she skipped over it because she didn't want to mention another motive she might have had.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Tiffany Haddish is suck at having like, ooh, bachelorette parties are the great stuff comes out of them. Anyway.
Yeah, she's her enjoyment of all of this is what made her a terrible detective.
Hey, y'all gonna hook up after this again? I mean, now that he's at rest, at peace, we say.
But it's so much fun watching her just enjoy this bit.
It's
mind movies.
Since I'm basically solving this crime myself, I think I should go with you. I just love that Zoe's crazy. Like, oh no, man, you want to stay in here. You don't want to go with her for that. She goes to confront her sister about the kiss.
Yeah, you're like, that's sister stuff. You don't want any part of that.
Also, it showed what's his name, Stingray's when he said that
oh my god, he's not lying. Yeah.
Then the sister weirdly hit on me, and like that's not bullshit. She did.
No, that happened. Yeah.
In a weird, and it was weird, and like. I was because it's again the premise of the show is so fun because even the stuff you think like, oh, that's definitely bullshit. Holy shit, it wasn't.
No, that wasn't. That was true. Not sure why. Yep.
Yeah. Is Grace's type like weirdos?
Yeah, it seems to be.
The sister is not quite as weird as what's his name. But
but she does live her entire life in a Wes Anderson movie, so she's pretty odd.
So she's pretty weird. And she hears the vows from the box, which makes the box fucking pointless.
Yep.
I love that Anik in this episode, obviously she wasn't listening to him. No. So he says a bunch of jargon, but also it doesn't sound not unlike Anik.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, that's definitely not what he said, but also it doesn't sound wrong. Like,
yep.
And then he said something. I don't know, man. I was paying attention to this other shit.
Yeah.
The next episode is Sebastian? Is that his name?
His heist.
Yeah, Sebastian.
His heist, like, because I knew his because he kind of popped up in this episode. I feel like you can kind of tell who's coming next because they pop up all of a sudden with an unexplained. And he comes in to like seduce her, I guess, for some reason, because that came out of nowhere.
It's the new piece of info. We didn't know
that he was
like we didn't know that he'd ever done anything the night before. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Oh, him doing the impression of him like this is our minnows.
That was a great impression. It was really good.
It's curse my monotone voice, so easily imitatable.
So that reminds me. When he has the Ken Jeong's father guy, when he has him negotiating with the dude in Korean,
yes,
exactly was Ken Jeong trying to. I thought he was going to get him to lower the price, and then tell him it was the full price and like cut some of the money off. No, he just want to look like he was negotiating.
Yes, he just wanted to look like he had a job. Like
he wanted him to listen to his next business idea, so he wanted him to make him think like. So it was like, I agree at this.
You owe me a favor. Yeah. But he wouldn't have owed him anything because it just worked. Like, he didn't do shit.
It might be just that it worked, but Les did point this out that he just said, I'll buy at this price.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly same as what Ken the original deal.
That's at the original price. And like, you don't.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any idea what that price was. Yeah.
No idea what you just agreed to.
So that could come back later of like, how you fucking, though you said there was no discount.
You promised him $5 million.
Yeah. I did like that they are making use of their characters because there's really no reason for that scene to be there other than some of these other characters are getting lost in the shuffle a little bit and we got to remind people that Ken Jeong and John Cho are here.
Yeah, actually, John Cho's bit of catching the arrow and all that was really fun.
I don't know how much of that is bullshit. Did he catch the arrow?
I don't think any of that actually happened. No.
Did any of it happen? I don't know. This chick is real weird. And it seems like at any point someone's mind movie is going to go off the rails because they realize they touched that fucking corsage thing she made and went as high as balls.
Well, also, I don't know if y'all remember, the murderers in the first season, the murderers episode is like 3 or 4 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we may already have gotten the bullshit story that, but I can't see it yet.
Yeah.
I can't see it yet. I'm not sure. I have no idea who killed him.
I noticed. So the suit of armor. She brings in the suit of armor head and asks if they don't know they don't know who ordered this suit of armor, which was outside the room in the noir episode in where he said, and when he woke up when he was sleeping, he saw someone run across the thing, and I was like, shit, there's somebody in that suit of armor, and that suit of armor is not supposed to be there.
Right.
I can only assume also that they made mention of this videographer for a minute, this character we haven't seen before. He's like, oh, I'm supposed to be invisible. And that could just be a joke that he is supposed to be invisible. The videographer is supposed to be invisible. But
or it could be a thing, yeah.
Or it could be
remember, the first season had the whole thing of the guy who nobody remembered his name.
Yes. Yes.
And I was so his name was like the Butler, like Walt Butler or something. Yes. And I'm like, oh man. But I think his last name was like Butler. So I'm like, oh, the Butler did it. They're like they're pointing it out to us, and it was not him.
No,
so it could be. They're definitely want to throw us red herrings. So yeah,
they do play fair though. Like all these,
they do. They absolutely do.
If you ferret it out, like it makes sense by the end of it, or at least I hope so. Like I hope it stays true to the. God damn, I love this show so much.
It's so wonderful.
It's great.
It's so well done.
Let's jump over and talk about the final episode of Secret Invasion, which
all secrets are invaded.
I gotta say, y'all know how in the tank I am for Marvel.
Yeah,
I'm kind of bummed by the end of this season's episode. I thought this was maybe not great.
Well, they don't quite pull off the emotional beats they need to for the final fight with Gravik and Gaia.
Yeah,
which is weird because he killed Talos, and you feel like there should be an emotional thing here.
I should care, and the thing is, I like Gaia. I think that the Mother of Dragons did a good job with her. I like Talos. I think that none of the deaths really resonated. Like they killed off. I think part of the thing is I didn't like the show so much by the end, and as a result, I'm like, you guys killed off 2 really good characters for this, and you also undercut the setup of the Skrulls in the MCU for this. And I think you used up all that story material for a weak story.
Yeah,
I think that makes me like all of it a bit less.
Yeah, the scope of it never feels as big as they need. Other than Rhodey, I don't feel like there's a bunch of high-level people replaced.
Yeah,
and I know there probably are, but we don't feel it. It feels like half a hallway. We never even saw Rhodey in the hallway because they wanted to.
No. Yeah.
Right, and the chaos they show at the end of like mixing up who's a Skrull and vigilantes, that felt like it should be happening in the middle of the season.
Yes.
And we should be dealing with the fallout of it.
Yeah, that was a weird thing to introduce at the very end of this.
Gravik,
because
Gravik doesn't really come off as a villain.
Dark.
His relationship with Fury and Gaia doesn't really come off, I think.
Yeah, I think that they need to do a much better job of establishing that this was this kid who felt betrayed by Nick Fury. That he loved Nick Fury.
Show his first mission. Show
don't just have to talk about it. Yeah,
that entire speech. So when he meets with Talos at the restaurant,
he comes off as a petulant child. I'm sorry, like I don't feel the like
when Gravik meets with Talos in the restaurant and does the like room full of Graviks thing, and that's when we first know he has extremis and that he's a super Skrull. I feel like instead, if that had been with Fury, if that had been when this speech happened. Earlier, because the speech was great. Finding out that, like, do you know why I picked this face? It's the first person you had me kill. And then Fury admitting back to him, look, man, I knew within a couple of years there was no planet for you to go to.
And also, that's not Fury.
That's the weird thing is, like, I don't know how much of that is bullshit, because Gaia, I mean, also,
that was Gaia, that's right.
That was obviously Gaia the whole time. They never had me fooled that was Fury.
Well, I mean, otherwise, why have them both stand on the Super Skrull machiner thing?
But before we got to any of that, when he's wandering around doing the coughing, I'm like, well, okay,
goodness,
I know she's overselling it because I'm like, I know that Fury lives because he's in the Marvels, so I know they're not about to kill him, and therefore that's not Fury, and I'm like, oh, it's Gaia, and like it's so obvious. I think that was one of the issues with the show overall. Is like they had this idea, they could have done this paranoia of who's a Skrull. But instead, they do the most obvious, like, oh, that guy's a Skrull. Like, even the Rhodey reveal was never as big of a reveal as it should have been.
No, that should have been a holy shit moment. He's not even acting like Rhodey anymore. He's just being an insane person.
That should have been a holy shit moment, and it wasn't.
No.
Yeah, they drop the espionage element to do some super stuff with the Super Skrull thing, and they drop the paranoia that they could have played with more.
Yeah.
And it, like Les said, it's not as simple as making it more episodes because it's not written to support that with these characters. Because already you have characters that wander around for episodes and feel like they have nothing to do. You have to kind of rebuild this from the ground up so it can and support an 8 or 10 episode arc of.
I wanted much more of an ensemble here. I wanted Martin Freeman in this. I wanted Rhodes in it as Rhodey. I also
feel like Emilia Clarke is barely. I feel like I barely saw any of her.
Same, and I think Olivia Colman, even though she stole every scene she was in,
I feel like she's barely
used more of her too. Yeah.
Well, like if it had started out with Fury coming back to Earth and putting together the team of people he really trusts, and we really got that core through the first 5 episodes,
and then Rhodey's a Skrull
bombshell that 1 or 4 of those people are Skrulls, and Fury doesn't know it. Yeah,
that I think is my genuine issue with this. It's not that this is a bad show; it's fine. It does what it set out to do. It has its arcs, whatever. It's that there are 20 different better versions of this show that I'm surprised they didn't give us.
And
which is
all read
usually a thing you can't do with the Marvels, with the Marvel shows as much.
No, usually like, no, that was the best version. You're like, you can pick at it. There's little bits and pieces you would have done differently, but like this whole thing, I'm like, there's better versions of this show with the people you had and the budget you had. Why did you make this one?
Yeah.
But also,
honestly, Peacemaker was a more insidious version of this.
For sure.
Also,
I think
that's true.
When they face off with the president, and there was some fake drama in here of like he's just about to launch the nuclear weapon. Really, right now you have to have that timer has to be on there.
Well,
and it's like, and they have Rhodey dead to rights. They both got guns on him. Why didn't they fucking shoot him?
Yeah, there's not really
like you want to prove the president he's a Skrull. Shoot him in the face.
I told, or even in the arm, he will. Or freak out. Like he will.
Hey, Mr. President, shoot us both in the arm and see who bleeds purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that drove me insane. Rhodey was behaving like you've totally blown your cover in the way he's acting there. And the entire like I looked at Nick and went, "This is how you know you're being conned. What do you mean I need to drop the bomb right now?
What do you mean I can't think about this for a minute? What do you mean it's got to be right now in this emotional well,
they clearly decided the president was a fucking idiot, which at this point, that's the real world. We believe that now.
Yeah.
But
well, also he's not like his kill all Skrulls thing is harsh and not like, reactionary and xenophobic, but also, fucking Skrulls tried to kill him.
Yeah.
You can't expect him to be super like, sure, maybe don't eliminate on sight, and all enemy aliens seemed weird of like, wait a minute, there's enemy aliens that can't shapeshift and aren't like we actually accept a couple of fucking aliens sometimes.
Yeah, what does this mean for Thor, man?
Yeah, like I think we're gonna run into problems here. This is a hard line that you can't really sustain, which is maybe the metaphor they're going for. But again, don't do that metaphor at the last 30 seconds of your fucking.
Yeah. A story about halfway through where the president says all aliens are enemy combatants, and that's part of the story.
Yeah,
sure. Also, don't drop in that the Kree are willing to negotiate for peace in the last 5 minutes of the show.
Well, that's obviously going to be the setup for the Marvels, I think.
I guess.
Which is, so a Kree supremacist is going to want to keep the war going, and which I would want either that be a fucking Nick Fury go, oh shit, one of my long-term plans actually paid off. That was a long shot. I did not expect that to work.
Yeah.
Because you could have all these things be like, sure, I was trying to find you a planet, but really, what planet is going to be safe when the Kree find you?
Yeah.
Because I can't give you a random planet. There's like a bear planet. People are going to wonder, hey, why does that planet have fucking inhabitants on them now? You may not be green, but why are you all of a deal with the Kree seems like actually a good idea to like soft sell and then have Gravik deny it of like, I'm not fucking making any deal with the Kree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you again incorporate into the story and incorporate it with Gravik losing the loyalty of his other Skrulls of like, hey dude, you're acting like a psycho. The Kree are willing to give us a planet to live on. That's what we wanted. Like, no, we wanted to fucking live as hey, no, we're gonna go like and live, man. That was the goal. Like, unless you're full of you're full of shit.
Yeah, also Gravik, that actor is in Barbie. And he's great. And he's really funny. he has a small bit and like a little bit part, and he comes through. His personality comes through. So why, when he was the lead, is he so wooden here? I think that's got to be the writing and directing.
Well, he doesn't have the. He's got to sell everything with dialogue. It's too much of this relationship with Fury is sold of. Remember when I did this for you, and remember when you did this to me, and remember that. Like, I mean, I guess you guys do. I don't remember any. Like, you're talking about shit I haven't seen, man.
Yeah, I mean, if this was lower budget and they just could not do the, showing us the scroll through time, advancing. This should have been a show about Fury's origins and working with the Skrulls for 30, 40 years.
Right.
And instead it's all focused on this, and they tell us about the other stuff. It cost $200 million.
I think maybe they thought, because they sold the Talos relationship of like, oh man, that really sells as far as those two feel like they've known each other for a while. Maybe they thought they sold the Gravik Fury relationship, but that doesn't sell the same.
Yeah, this thing, the budget for this was $212 million.
Fuck.
And did they spend all of that on that stupid Super Skrull fight that really didn't have any...
Didn't look any better than the CG people bitched about at the end of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Also,
but like,
they've got an Eternals hand in the ocean problem for me, in that you went from, okay, I know y'all don't have the rights to Fantastic Four, but you seem like you're insistent on giving me a Super Skrull, and you're going to approximate it. That's fine. And then they leapfrog to like the super Skrull. He doesn't just have the Fantastic Four's powers. He's got not just all the Avengers, but like people the Avengers powers. Fought. He's got Korg. He's got, it seems like everyone. It's insane.
Yeah.
Anyone who was on the field at Endgame, he's got. And he even uses Ebony Maw's fucking thing for a minute.
And I know they're not going to, I feel like they're not going to remember that this is out there. Gaia is so powerful that she could right now fly to the Kree homeworld, beat the Supreme Intelligence stupid, take their fucking world, and be done.
Honestly, I feel like that's
so overpowered. She makes Superman look like nothing. I mean,
like
she's Captain Marvel plus
she's a character
everyone else.
They back, like they have to forget her. They have to forget she exists.
Like, they have to forget she exists.
They already have a problem with Carol Danvers being, but at least Carol Danvers is in space. She's in charge of
busy.
Space.
Well, if they were smart, and they clearly there's so many things they didn't write, they would have had her power start to fade immediately.
Right.
They were like, this is unstable.
Yeah, there's a reason we haven't built one of these.
And Nick Nick trusted you. But Nick's not stupid. He knew that even if you got beat, the graphics only have those powers for a week.
Right.
Do a thing where it's like he knew this was unstable.
Yeah, we had our guys looking at the plans for this, and there's no way he doesn't have to get back in that thing once a week.
Yeah. And so once you guys destroyed that, we were good.
Well, you realize Gaia and him don't really have a conversation after that.
No,
they just go straight to beating each other.
Well, she goes to make a deal with what's her face, and her pitch is.
Oh, you with Fury,
her pitch is, let's leave friendship and loyalty and trust away. And I'm like, that's your pitch?
That's your plan,
your pitch is to we're going to use each other, and because you can trust me less, I'm better than Fury? What?
Yeah, it was,
I mean, I get that, like, there's no love loss between us, like, where there's just a business relationship. There's, I guess, a merit to that, but honestly, why pick someone that has if she needs to turn on the Skrulls at some point, it's just she'll do it.
Yeah.
There's no fucking, at least Fury has a fucking he has a wife. He has at least some skin in the game, Skrull wise.
Yeah. This was a bummer, and it actually I'm nervous about the Marvels now, because the Marvels looks great, and it's really important.
I wouldn't be. I feel like the Marvels has a tighter, like the Skrulls are going to be a side thing with them, like they're going to be what the story's kind of about, but the characters are going to be the Marvels trying to fight this Kree chick.
But also, I know some people didn't like Falcon and Winter Soldier that much, and I know some people had issues with some of the other stuff, but I think this is absolutely the weakest of the Marvel shows by a mile.
I think so.
And that doesn't make it bad, but it's the weakest of their
shows.
It's
not bad.
No, I think even WandaVision had a kind of a weaker start, but a overall cohesive, what it was trying to do kind of came across a little bit better.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah.
Oh, this does make me wonder if that was Rhodey that gave Sam the shield in Cap.
Yeah, I mean,
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Right.
They don't really go into it how long Rhodey's been.
But they make a big deal about it, that it's been longer than anyone else in the Hall.
Well, how long has Martin Freeman been like?
Yeah, we're like, how long have these guys been Skrulls?
Was the like? Should I not have cared about who was in Wakanda forever? Was that a Skrull?
The last time we saw Rhodey was Falcon Winter Soldier trying when he tries to give. So like, was that him at that ceremony or not? Not that it really matters.
It doesn't.
That's a little frustrating to me. Like, why tease that out so hard? I really thought when I went and looked up when the last time he was on screen that it was going to be somewhere where you were like, holy fuck.
Back when I thought, before they revealed what Phase 5 or Phase 4 was going to be, I thought like, oh shit, what if they do Secret Invasion? And as a phase, not as a show, but like as a each stinger. Like suddenly it's oh shit, like a whole phase. You go for
where the stingers keep revealing all the
Skrulls. 2-3 years of oh shit, who's a Skrull? You know?
Yeah, that would have been so much better. That would have been so much better.
And then you can do the show or a movie on Secret Invasion. That's the actual thing is just the culmination of that. You you cheat your way there. You cheat it. It's you slowly build it throughout the other movies with a scene here and a scene there, and then you with all the other Marvel shit, you cheat it at the end and make it feel like you've spent years doing it when really it's only been bits by. You guys are the king at this. I shouldn't have to explain how to do this to you.
Yeah, it is weird that they something happened and they don't have the same people. I mean, obviously some of the writers moved on, but like Kevin Feige took his eye off the ball or something. It does not feel like the same Marvel that it used to.
No.
And it's a shame because that would have been much more interesting. Also, I will say, Marvel has done a really good job of keeping things true to the comics, and Secret Invasion comics suck. So
but a lot of the stuff they've done was like Civil War sucked, but Civil War was a great movie.
I think that's what disappointed. We all thought they were going to fix Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
because Secret Invasion had very much the same problem of like, wait, how long has that person been a Skrull? That didn't make any sense.
Yes,
and it was the same thing of like, well, we didn't address that in the room.
Do you think maybe Secret Invasion? I think Secret Invasion was fixable, but
oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. I mean, all you had to do was have the conversation the first day in the room.
Yeah.
Of okay, how long? When did Rhodey become a Skrull, and why did they take him? Well, like the little stuff that should have shown up, even if we didn't see it in the show. It should have informed the show, and it clearly didn't.
They could have gone back and watched all 20-something, like all previous Marvel movies, and made a list of like. So give me 5 background characters that do a thing in a movie that's perfectly innocuous that we can say
now. Later.
Yes.
That we can fucking say that, aha, see?
And that's the thing. And that's what Endgame and all those, that's what all the Marvel movies did. They're not master planners.
No, they're
good at looking back at what happened.
It's a magic trick.
You go back and look and see what happened, and you're like, oh, that could mean this. Like, that's all it is. And they just didn't do that.
The magic trick is really effective, though, man. Like,
it is, and it's great. And it's not cheating. That's actually writing. That's very clever.
There's a Reddit thread somewhere of a bunch of crazy ass fan theories. Just make 3 of them true.
It's honestly like what everyone tries to think of why Marvel works and why other like Monster Universe, DC Universe, all these other universes can't quite do it is that well, they're trying to build a universe from the ground up, and Marvel pretends to. They're not actually doing but the fact that they can pretend and everyone's convinced is actually more impressive than doing it. Like
you just have to do it convincingly. Like you say, it's a magic trick. You keep everyone off, you distract everyone from the notion of like, how did they possibly know that? Because they're like, holy shit, that's so cool. Like, that's all it is.
Yes. Never admit that, like, oh, did it actually take Spider-Man a lot longer to fade away because of his spider sense, because he could feel it coming? Yep.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what it was. Yep, that's what we meant.
No, this is the company that invented the no prize.
You just...
So I'm definitely, I'm not off Marvel or anything. I love Marvel stuff.
Oh, absolutely. But this is still like better than most of the Snyderverse stuff. But honestly, with Peacemaker and Harley Quinn, like Marvel is no longer king in
it's
TV.
It's get harder to hold this crown.
And with if James Gunn even ups the quality even a little bit, the difference is they're like the closer they get, it's going to be harder for them to maintain that crown of king shit.
Yeah, well, and I think it's interesting. I've seen some friends on Facebook who are just bashing the shit out of Secret Invasion the whole time, talking about how bad it is, and I'm like, it's not that bad. Like I still want to defend it.
Right. It's one of those things of is it bad? Is it better or worse than, say, Citadel or another show that's kind of like the spy thing they're trying to do? And it's like, nah, I would say it's on the same level of Citadel.
About equal.
Like, yeah, I agree. Although this doesn't have any tooch.
No, it could use some tooch. I wouldn't say no.
You got a shape-shifting race of people. Why am I not swimming in tooch?
In two. God damn it! I knew he was going to say swimming in tooch.
I honestly put it in there just to set that up for Les.
Thank you.
Now I don't have to buy it. Not to give him a birthday present. So I think that'll wrap it up for us this time. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Les.
Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, dudes.
If that is who you are.
I think we now know we know who each other is now. We've killed Kyle. He was the only Skrull.
He was the Skrull.
Turns out he wasn't, but
you can't blame us for thinking it.
You can't know that beforehand.
Yeah, you can't.
Any reasonable human being would have assumed it.
And thank you to our listeners. Thank you to our patrons. Remind you to go to patreon.com/tvdudes and throw us $1 an episode and listen to us talk about Barbie. Not every week, just this week, but other things. And until next time,
TV Dudes out. The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV Dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.